I personally cannot program AI, okay? I specialize in a different kind of programming. You can call it AI, actual intelligence, because over 20 years, I worked in some of the biggest branding agencies in the world, working on some of the most powerful and famous brands in history, doing primarily one thing, and that is to program consumers to do pretty much whatever we want. And by the way, the success rate is mind-boggling, okay? Now, that brings us into the subject I want to talk about, okay? Because what I want to talk about today is how can we take some of this branding magic, and apply it to ourselves to do pretty much whatever we want, all right? So let's take it step by step, okay? And please don't let the relative simplicity fool you, because that's the thing about branding. You never see it coming. It just happens to you, all right? Where is my clicker? Where's my wife? Wife? Oh, my wife, okay. All right, so not 50 scientists, like 49 scientists and one amazing wife. Honey, if I do amazing in the next 12 minutes, it's all because of you, I swear to God. If I suck, it's all me. 100%. Okay. So, now, let's start with the fact, okay? One of the biggest obstacles for human advancement nowadays is the fact that we do not apply the knowledge we have. Especially knowledge that has to do with self-development and goal achievement. I mean, honestly, how many people here, please raise your hand, are procrastinating a major goal? You have a major goal and you're putting it off. Like 4 people? You guys are all perfect over there? Okay. Is anybody not happy with their exercise or diet routine? 3 people. You guys are all happy? Never mind. So, anyway, 3 months ago, that was me. I was a knowing but not doing guy. And I discovered that I'm going to be giving a TEDx talk as a speaker. But at the time, I didn't exactly believe that I qualify as a speaker. I didn't feel like I was worthy to stand here on stage. Simply because I believe that, TEDx speakers are of a certain caliber. They're doers. They're gritty role models. And there I was. My goals were on hold. I wasn't living according to my values, and many of my personal affairs were out of order. So this required a personal intervention. I have to become my own guru, I thought to myself. I have to take the essence of everything I know about personal development and use it to fight through all my demons and all my bad habits and all my issues to be ready on the day of this event. In other words, to start living immediately every day so that I improve mentally, emotionally, and physically as much as possible. That is right. I need to stick to a daily routine that would make me proud of myself. That is my goal. Only then will I allow myself to stand here as a speaker. So I had a major mission on my hand. Now, what I normally do when I have a major task or mission to accomplish is I would give it a name, I'd give it a logo, and maybe a motivational slogan. And then I would take that logo and I'd place it in my notes and to-do list because it keeps me focused and motivated. I'll call it mission branding. Now, I still had to choose the topic of my TEDx talk, right? And I knew this year's theme was about grit, and I specialize in creative ideation and brand building. So I thought, how can I combine those 3 together in one topic? And a giant light bulb lit up inside my head. I was like, I know what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about mission branding, because that has always fueled my grit whenever I needed to. So I decided to take mission branding, to a new level and use it to prepare for today's talk and then share the experience here on stage. That is right, my Masks friends. A TEDx talk about how I use mission branding to prepare for today's TEDx talk. So it was on. First, we need to analyze the data and see what we're up against here, okay? At the time, I completely felt like this. And my mission was to stand here feeling like this, like on the inside. So, such a thing requires extreme grit, to have such a transformation on the inside, okay? Because you can do sports and everything and, get fit, but if you're not all put together on the inside, that is not easy, trust me, okay? So, now, grit. What about this word? Is grit something we're born with? Are the grit role models of the world superheroes or aliens from outer space? No, not at all. Grit is a behavior that yields results. It's an attitude. It's a mindset, okay? Basically, it's something inside us that makes us stick to a daily routine. Well, that sounds easy, right? I mean, after all, we are talking about goals that totally matter here. This is something that you really want to achieve, right? Well, apparently, people are unable to stick to a goal and commit and do a little bit every day to achieve their goal. But why? Hold on. Dry mouth. Thanks to your staring eyes and no mouth expressions. But why? Okay, to understand the reason why people cannot commit and focus on doing even a little bit every day until they achieve their goal, we need to zoom in on the source of the problem. And that is the reality of our daily lives. On the inside and out, we have like a million things fighting for our time, attention, and energy. We have vibrant colors everywhere we look. App notifications, advertising, a ridiculous abundance of irresistible food and content. Not to mention the inner monologue, dwelling on the past, dwelling on the future, cravings, physical pain. Basically, we're faced with a gigantic tsunami of distractions. Well, where are goals before they're achieved? They're in our heads, they're in our hearts, and maybe written down somewhere on a piece of paper. Is there a way that we can hack into this inner jungle of chaos, unlock our goal, and let it come out and play? Can we make it something tangible, something physical, something that would stimulate the five senses? Well, that's where the idea of mission branding comes in. Now think about this. If you give your mission, that's in here, if you give it a name, like a nickname, and a label, you already have the seed of a brand. You have a name that you can pronounce, you can hear yourself say it, and you have a logo that you can see. Your goal has already successfully hacked into the tangible world, okay? Now, before I tell you about my most recent experience with this, let's talk a little bit about branding. It's like, what is branding? Now, branding started as simple labeling, where you would assign a name and a label to a product so that it sticks out and can be recognized by the consumer. But then marketeers, realized that once people interact and use a product, they start to associate it with a set of emotions and feelings, And eventually that label, starts to become a familiar symbol of meaning. It's no longer the simple product that it started out to be. And that's where modern branding comes into play, Nowadays, when you say branding, you're talking about a major marketing operation. There are branding departments in big companies, there are branding agencies, and companies will spend thousands of dollars growing the positive perception of their brands in the minds and the hearts of their consumers. They work on building and engineering the meaning I was just talking about. They try to create it from scratch. And this involves huge marketing research surveys, focus groups, coming up with the brand strategy, determining the brand personality, brand tone of voice, brand promise, brand values, brand visual guidelines. And I'm talking about meetings and research and manuals, and it's insane, As a matter of fact, you can take simple tap water, and you can convert it into a premium global brand if you give it to a talented marketing department. As a matter of fact, the water doesn't even have to taste good, But people will believe that it tastes amazing if branding was done right. So, branding is the creation of positive meaning. Now, how does this definition tie back into our subject today? Well, with mission branding, value and meaning comes pre-installed, You don't need a huge branding operation to to do anything because all the right elements are there. Because these are goals that matter very much, okay? I'm talking about things that you really want to achieve here, okay? This is a sweetheart of a target. All you got to do is label it to make it tangible. You brand it to make it tangible, okay? And you have to feed it with actions to give it value. And by actions, I mean you achieve daily tasks, okay, that will eventually lead to the goal, and the name of the goal's brand. Daily tasks that you do every day, but you do it in the name of the mission's brand, okay? I'll explain it, don't worry. For example, you no longer say, I'm working on project XYZ, okay? You say that I'm working on, operation research paper, and you give that thing a name, and after a while, operation research paper will become, the branding of that, it'll swell up with positive, motivating energy, okay? And it'll pull you through every day until you achieve your goal. It will become grit fuel. Now, if these guys ask me to come up here, they're like, listen, you have 20 seconds to give your TEDx talk. I'll be like, okay, hello, mission branding is grit fuel, and I'll leave. That's the whole thing, okay? So I'm really hoping everybody's looking at me and paying attention because it's about grit fuel, okay? Now, let me explain to you how I use this idea to prepare for today's talk. My goal was to become my own role model, sort of, and to be proud of myself. And I needed to bring my goal to life, okay? So the first thing, I need to give my mission a name. And since it's Dawood at TEDx, I named it Operation D to the Power X. Simple and relevant. Then I hand drew a simple logo, okay? Took a picture of it with my iPhone. And then I gave it the color neon green, okay? Because it's vibrant and always made me happy. And now that my mission has a name and a logo and an official color, it's time to convert it into a brand. So, the first thing I did was I needed to create a self-targeting branding campaign. I needed to immerse myself in the brand, okay? I need to have branding collaterals that would engage with me emotionally and physically, okay? So I created a set of brand collaterals, okay? This is just an example. One for each sense. Brand collaterals that'll stimulate the 5 senses. From smartphone wallpaper to green tea fragrance, paracord bracelet, okay? Something for each sense. Now, once you work on your mission and you achieve daily tasks and these things are associated with your progress, your mission comes to life. Now, not only can you see and hear your mission, but you can smell it, taste it, and feel it as well. Then, I surrounded my environment at home with strategically placed green sticky notes that either contain the logo or a motivational slogan so that my brand stays top of mind. I designed a branded and color-coded daily planner where I would carefully design my daily tasks so that it contains just the right amount of work, personal, recreational, and family tasks. Just the right amount to make sure I do them. Now, you must keep feeding your brand with actions because if you don't, eventually your mission brand will lose its value and meaning. Not only that, but when you see the branding, okay, it'll depress you. That's why on days where you absolutely don't feel like doing anything, you must do micro tasks for as many of your daily tasks as possible. Because in order for this to work, there is no such thing as not doing the daily thing. Okay? You can literally do 3 push-ups, read 1 paragraph out of a book, eat a green apple, or practice breathing for 30 seconds. And you might think, well, that's silly. No. Because first of all, you get the satisfaction of checking off the daily items, in your planner, and the brain records it as momentum. These continuous actions, okay, keep the positive energy loop alive between you and your mission's brand, okay? And as you do a little bit every day, even if you do a teeny weeny bit every day, okay, you'll still feel good about yourself, okay? And every day goes by and you're doing a little bit, okay? You start to feel more and more motivated, more and more proud, and you will associate that amazing feeling with the missions brand. If you have a major mission, I highly recommend that you try this. And as we say in Saudi, اللي تغلب والعبوا. Play the game with whatever helps you win. And finally, I highly advise you that when you come up with your missions brand, make the name relevant, okay? So for example, if you have a lot to do in a short amount of time, brand it Formula One. If you have a book that you want to start, you can brand it Feather and Ink, If you have a major research project, okay, you can brand it the Hulk, Just get it done with whatever helps you win. Thank you.